You're listening to WDR and the Country Coach USA show with Akeem Grau.
Meine Damen und Herren, Don and Phil Everly, the Everly Brothers.
Wochenende im Oktober waren die Everly Brothers in München und Frankfurt zu Gast. In Bremen nahmen sie eine Show für den Beat Club auf. Nach ihrem Frankfurter Konzert konnte ich den Brüdern einige Fragen stellen. Zuallererst, wo sind sie aufgewachsen?
Well, I was born in Kentucky, and that's where all of our people are from. In fact, that last song we sang tonight was about our home state of Kentucky, which is sort of the South, the edge of the South.
Sie kommen von da, wo der Süden der USA beginnt. Die Familie stammt aus Brownie in Kentucky, sagt Phil Everly. Sind die Brüder, Dan jetzt 35 und Phil 33 Jahre alt, sind sie musikalisch vorbelastet?
Our father was in the music business. He was really from a coal mining region. They were from all really coal mining people and railroad people. But they entertained themselves by learning to play instruments. And my father was a very accomplished guitar player, and so finally did get into show business in Chicago. And then Phil and I joined him at a very young age, so we came from sort of a musical background.
Musik ist bei ihnen erblich, falls es das gibt. Ihr Vater nämlich, aus einer Bergarbeiterfamilie gebürtig, spielte die Gitarre. Und das mit der Zeit so gut, dass er Auftritte bekam, zuerst in Chicago, wo die Söhne und auch die Mutter ihn dann bald in den Shows begleiteten. Und dann eine neue Aufnahme des Merle Haggard-Songs Mama Tried von der LP Roots. War sie ein Erfolg?
It was more of an artistic success, I think, than a
Money-wise.
record. Money-wise. I believe it'll eventually do something, but I'm glad to have those tapes on permanent record. I had the tapes at my house. Wasn't, I don't remember whose idea it was, but I mentioned having them, and everybody listened, everybody said, hey, yeah, and they laced them in, and they did a good job.
Ein künstlerischer Erfolg war die LP wohl, nicht aber ein finanzieller. Sie war Country und gut, authentisch, aber nicht kommerziell. Phil ist stolz auf die alten Bänder und froh, dass sie zum Teil auf Platte verewigt sind. Wie kamen die Brüder zum Plattenvertrag?
A friend of ours, a friend of our father's actually, Chet Atkins, listened to some songs that we'd been writing, and said, why don't you come to Nashville, he'll see what he could do. And it took about 2 years, but we finally got the right combination and onto the right label, and we got the right song, and we had a hit. So that's how we got started into the recording end of it.
Ein Freund unseres Vaters hieß Chet Atkins. Er führte uns in Nashville ein, aber es dauerte noch 2 Jahre bis zur ersten Platte. Sie hieß übrigens nicht Bye Bye Love und gilt heute als Rarität. 3 Namen waren maßgeblich an ihrer Karriere beteiligt. Archie Bleyer, Wesley Rose und Boudleaux Bryant.
They were all there at the very beginning. All 3 of them. Archie Bleyer owned the record company that was enlarging into the country music field in 1957. And we were songwriting at the time, and Wesley Rose was a publisher. And we had gone to see Wesley Rose to show him some songs. And Wesley had been contacted by Archie Bleyer, and Wesley heard us, and he said he liked us. And Archie heard us and through from Wesley, and he liked us. And Boudleaux had written a song called Bye Bye Love, and then we sang that about 3 days later, and it came out and was very, very good for us.
Archie Bleyer besaß die Plattenfirma, Wesley Rose hatte einen Musikverlag und Boudleaux Bryant hatte Bye Bye Love geschrieben. Und das sangen wir dann 3 Tage später. Es tat uns sehr gut. Gefiel Ihnen das Stück auf Anhieb?
Well, at that particular time in my life, I wasn't too choosy what I did, because we'd been, if they'd have said sing anything, we'd have probably done it.
Zu jener Zeit waren wir nicht wählerisch. Wir hätten alles gesungen, was uns die Leute gaben. Ist Bye Bye Love ein Country-Song? Phil zögert, aber dann sagt er nein.
No, and I don't. Not to no, I don't. I think Boudleaux is. He just is. It's a new, what you might call new country, not country like I was raised with singing. It's not that old. Take an old cold tater and wait, which is some of the country things that Boudleaux has written, that little Jimmy Dickens did. It was an in-between song, and then when you put our voices in the modernization, the guitar stuff that Donald did, it made a whole different attitude. We were singing more in the area we liked, I think.
Ein Country-Song im alten Stil, so wie wir aufgewachsen sind, ist es nicht. Irgendwo in der Mitte liegt es, mit unseren Stimmen und mit der modernen Art, wie Don die Gitarre spielt.
Bye bye love, bye bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye bye love, bye bye sweet caress, hello emptiness, I feel like I could die. Bye bye my love, goodbye. There goes my baby with someone new. She sure looks happy, I sure am blue. She was my baby, till stepped in. Goodbye to romance that might have been. Bye bye love, bye bye.
Bye Bye Love, concerning Bye Bye Love. When that came out, I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I might be mistaken. Was there another version by a guy called T. Tommy?
Yeah.
I don't have it. Can you tell me a little bit of, not that I like this one better.
No, that's
just
okay.
for the interest of the song,
The T. Tommy was the disc jockey on WSM.
Nashville.
Yes, and in fact we knew him quite well. There was also a version of Webb Pierce had a version of Bye Bye Love too. Webb heard it on the radio on the way to a session and made him get the record. That's the way I understood the story. It's all hearsay though. And T. Tommy heard the record when it was heard about it or heard it when it was come out. Nobody was Everybody liked it. I guess I've often thought about it, and I think that mainly what it really meant was that everybody felt that something had happened, and which is more than I knew about it. You know, we were on the record came out, and we were working a tent show. We were working in Mississippi at a tent show in a kind of a shifty kind of situation show. It wasn't a very good show. And we heard that Webb Pierce had recorded Bye Bye Love, and we figured it was all over. He had 24 number one records in a row. And when he covered an act, it was the end, because at that time Mel Tillis wasn't famous. You know, Mel had written a lot of Webb songs. But every time Mel would get a good record out, Webb would cover it, and just Mel would disappear, you know. And when we told Mel Tillis, and Mel said, well, that's it, boys. So when Webb Pierce cut it, so that's it, but it didn't work out that way.
Auf meine Frage, ob es noch eine Version von T. Tommy gab, sagt Phil, dass es noch ungefähr 5 Versionen von Bye Bye Love gab. T. Tommys Fassung gehört dazu. Er war Disc-Jockey beim Sender WSM in Nashville, von dem auch die Grand Ole Opry ausgestrahlt wird. Webb Pierce und Mel Tillis rissen sich ebenfalls um den Titel, aber die Everlys machten das Rennen. Boodle O'Brien schrieb weitere Songs für sie und alle sollten beim Publikum ankommen. Es verbindet sie eine enge persönliche und berufliche Freundschaft.
I think probably that our association is one of the, is probably only a few, if there's been any others, except for a songwriter writing so many hits for a single act. You know, he's a tremendous writer, he's a tremendous man. And I have a lot of respect for him, in personally and professionally.
Don Everly soll uns nun beantworten, was Country Music ist und was nicht. Das ist schwer zu sagen, meint er.
That's really hard to answer nowadays, because when I was growing up, most country music was sang really by people that had grown up in the country. But I was growing up in semi-cities and country. I lived in the country too. But there's a whole other generation now that has grown up really being affected by country music, that live in the cities and here in Europe. And we're, you know, it's now transcended just being country music. So you really have to just sort of pick and choose and say, well, that does sound, you know, maybe the background of it is, or the roots of it, the rudiment are country. But I don't really apply that term to just one type of thing I do anymore. I try to keep it more broad than that, because I feel that I shouldn't be limited to one field of music. You know, I wish that they would break down a little bit more of the barriers, actually, so that you could get into the country charts all the time, you know, and not just have to make a constant effort to it, because some songs do you know, it's debatable to whether it's really country music or, you know, rock and roll, or, you know.
Ein Unterschied ist zum Beispiel, dass Country Music früher von Leuten gemacht wurde, die auch auf dem Lande on the country lebten. Heute wird sie auch von reinen Stadtmenschen fabriziert. Das verändert die Musik. Manchmal ist nur die Begleitung Country, manchmal nur noch der Ursprung des Liedes. Er wünscht, dass man die Grenzen, was ist Country und was nicht, niederreißen sollte. Es ist heutzutage ohnehin ein zwielichtiges Geschäft, debatable, wie er sagt. Hier die Everlys auf der Frankfurter Bühne mit Bowling Green, Kentucky. Fehler in der Technik in Frankfurt oder sagen wir es so, die deutschen Techniker verstanden es nicht, die Rückkopplung, das Feedback zu vermeiden. Es pfiff durch den Abend wie auf dem Fußballplatz. Ja, und den zweiten Teil unseres Gespräches mit Don und Phil Everly wollen wir dann in 14 Tagen noch hören. Das war's aus der Country Code USA, heute 5 Minuten kürzer als sonst. Mehr davon am Donnerstag in 14 Tagen und bye bye, bis bald vom Achim Graul.